What about entitlements? The Medicare Trust Fund and stories that have come out over the weekend is now going to be depleted by 2024, 5 years earlier than predicted. Do you think that Republicans ought to buck the public opposition and really move forward to completely change Medicare, turn it into a voucher program where you give seniors some premium support and so that they can go out and buy private insurance?
I don't think right-wing social engineering is any more desirable than left-wing social engineering. I don't think imposing radical change from the right or the left is a very good way for a free society to operate. I think we need a national conversation to get to a better Medicare system with more choices for seniors. But there are specific things you can do. At the Center for Health Transformation, which I helped found, we published a book called Stop Paying the Crooks. We thought that was a clear enough, simple enough idea even for Washington. Between Medicare and Medicaid, we pay between $70 and $120 billion a year to crooks. And IBM has agreed to help solve it. American Express has agreed to help solve it. Visa has agreed to help solve it. You can't get anybody in this town to look at it. That's almost $1 trillion over a decade. So there are things you can do to improve Medicare.
But not what Paul Ryan is suggesting, which is completely changing Medicare.
I think that is too big a jump. I think what you want to have is a system where people voluntarily migrate to better outcomes, better solutions, better options, not one where you suddenly impose upon you. I'm against Obamacare, which is imposing radical change, and I would be against a conservative imposing radical change.
Let me ask you about the issue of taxes. You've been clear so far in your campaign. You want to reduce the corporate tax rate, reduce other taxes, make permanent the Bush-era tax cuts. You won't raise taxes? You won't consider it as part of a balanced budget at any point, raising taxes?
No.
Under no circumstances.
I believe this is a country which is overspent. It's not undertaxed. And I believe every time you raise taxes, the politicians use that as an excuse to avoid facing the real decisions we're confronting. We have a moment in history where we can get our house in order if we have the courage to stick to the job. I mean, I helped balance the budget for 4 straight years. We did it by cutting taxes and bringing the unemployment rate down to below 4%. The #1 job in America today is to get people back to work, because America only works when Americans are working.
But serious bipartisan figures who have looked at this said you can't simply have a conversation about bringing the deficit into balance, the budget into balance, without looking at revenue increases.
Look, serious bipartisan figures are operating within the Washington consensus, which is wrong. You can, in fact, fundamentally rethink the federal government. I'll give you an example. IBM and Dell and the other high-tech companies came together, issued a report. If the federal government was simply run as effectively as a multinational corporation, it's worth $125 billion a year. I just put on the table for you not paying crooks, which is worth between $70 and $120 billion a year. None of these serious bipartisan figures rethink the federal government. They fight over the current shape of the federal government.